But by the way, if you're watching on Rumble, smash that Rumble button.
Smash it.
And if you're watching on YouTube, consider watching on Rumble. This is something that is, it does come down to, and we're going to go, we have a package where I'm on location, and it's like 20 minutes with people talking about COVID and masks and vaccines. They try and label you, this is something very, very clear, an election denier, a climate denier, right? These are terms. They'll accuse you of being a science denier. And then you can also add other umbrella terms like racist dog whistles, homophobia, transphobia. Let's walk through that for a second. What does climate denier mean? And I do want to hit this here before we leave. So, yeah, I'm going to hit this stupid button thing. Because if you buy into the premise, well, then you buy into all that wholesale. And women, specifically women who voted against Trump, are not buying that anymore. Climate denier, what does that mean? Well, let me explain to you what it means for me. And if you look at the videos that I've released, and we're going to do an entire episode on climate change predictions. There was a meme being shared with something like 50 predictions, and there were no sources. And I always see these come across my timeline, and I'm skeptical. And every single one was true. So, oh, no, I don't even want to go to see it. So, let's go through, okay, you're a climate denier. What does that mean? Let's say you believe in climate change. Can you still be a climate denier according to the left? Absolutely. That's irrelevant. Let's say you believe in climate change and you believe that mankind is even largely responsible. Can you still be labeled a climate denier? Absolutely. That's irrelevant. Let's say you believe in climate change, you believe that humankind is largely the cause of it, but you just don't believe that the federal government or the UN can actually do anything to tackle it, sort of like world hunger. Climate denier. That's all it takes. And then they say, well, why don't you trust our institutions? Why don't you trust the scientific institutions when it comes to climate change? And they throw you this bogus number that 97% of scientists agree, which we've already debunked. It's not true. Then they say, all right, so you're a climate denier. Why are you an election denier? The big lie. Hold on a second. Will they concede that you are not an election denier if you believe in the United States of America and you believe that we have had largely free and fair elections throughout our history? Yeah, of course they can still label you that. That's irrelevant. Will they accuse you of being an election denier or a proponent of the big lie if you accept, for example, that not only have most elections been free and fair, but you even believe that Joe Biden likely won the popular vote in this last election? Of course they can still label you a big lie proponent. That's irrelevant. They label you a big lie proponent and an election denier if you say most elections are free and fair. I think Joe Biden won. I do think, along with a majority of Americans at this point, that some of the anomalies probably need to be addressed, and you can't change the rules right before an election, and I think this favored the Democrats. Boom, you're an election denier. Okay, now we go to you're a science denier. Hold on a second. Will they label you a science denier if you believe that COVID-19 is a real virus? Of course, they'll still label you that. That's irrelevant to the point. Will they still label you a science denier if you say COVID is a real thing and we need to fast track a vaccine? Of course, they'll still label you a COVID denier. That's exactly what Donald Trump and most people in America believed. Will they still label you a COVID denier? And believe me, I'm speaking to the Democrats here. I understand that it might seem as though this is repetitive to you, but Democrats believe that their audiences are idiots, so hopefully this will reach a few of them. So you believe that COVID is a real thing. You believe we need to fast track a vaccine. And you even believe that the vaccine today makes sense for most people, just not everybody. Of course, they'll still label you a science denier. It doesn't matter. That's irrelevant to the point. Will they still label you a science denier if you say COVID-19 is real, we need to fast track a vaccine? I believe the vaccine is good for a lot of people, but I also believe that we should have robust scientific studies of currently available treatments so it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. Boom. Science denier. What if you didn't even say that? Said, I believe in the vaccine. I don't believe ivermectin works. I believe there are no treatments available. I just don't think, I've gone along with all of it, I just don't support lockdowns and canceling kids' schools. Boom. You're a science denier. Along with, by the way, half of Europe. So my point is this. If they claim you're a science denier, you're an election denier, proponent of the big lie, you're a climate denier, just explain your position, how much more rational it is than any of the bull they're peddling, like, oh, Essex County is going to flip all of New Jersey at 3 a.m. and wear it proudly. I guess at that point, we're all climate deniers, science deniers, and proponents of the big lie, if you at all are skeptical of authoritative institutions with people who've never held a private job in our economy. All of us are deniers. And you know what? I think it's about time to deny. I think it's a good thing. I don't think that progress for the sake of progress is always the best. The credit card's been maxed out. It's time for it to be declined. Don't let them tar and feather you that way. And women, specifically the women who changed the Virginia election and changed certainly the outlook of the New Jersey, this is a time where your voice is clearly being heard. The Democrats, just like with black voters, took them for granted, thought that you were all voting with your vaginas, using the lever, and then playing a harmonica with it. The point is, they thought that's how you voted. And now you said, you know what, we care more in Virginia about our children's education. We don't just believe in abortion up until and including birth. Hey, we can think for ourselves. Have those conversations with everyone you know. Don't let them label you a self-loathing woman or a cold bitch because you don't believe that the government can solve the problem of education in this country.
Watch Louder with Crowder live, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.